Let's see. All right. So thanks for joining us today, Gladys. I am here with Gladys Aguilar, and I am going to ask her a few questions about her career pathway, and hopefully it'll give you some insight into what what options are for yourself. So Gladys, will you just start by telling us a little bit about what you do and just about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Gladys Aguilar. I was born and raised here in South Lake Tahoe, California. And I am currently the TRIO director for Lake Tahoe Community College. And we are um, mainly stationed at South Tahoe Middle School and South Tahoe High School. And we provide college support and guidance to lead students to pursue higher education. And aside from that, I also own a business. It's called Bella Drops. I hand make earrings, bracelets, necklaces. I've owned that for quite some time. So I've been juggling both, and it's been great. It's been a great experience.
Thanks. So talk to us a little bit about what your career pathway has been like. What was your education like? What other roles have you had in the past? How did you get to where you are?
Wow, well, that was definitely a journey. I'm 40 now, so if you can imagine high school, I graduated 1999. And I always said through high school that I wanted to be a clinical child psychologist, and I was so set on that. But sometimes life throws curveballs at you, or you discover throughout your path that you were really interested in something, and then you get sidetracked and you're interested in something else a lot more. And so that's kind of what happened to me. So I was majoring in psychology, and then I got really interested in working with children specifically through this CDC internship at UC Davis. So to start with, I did my first two years at LTCC, and then I transferred to UC Davis in 2001. And it was there that I did the CDC internship. And that really got me to really love working with children, specifically smaller children. And then I developed a huge interest in working with children with developmental delays, specifically autism, which led me to have a job working as an ABA therapist for children with autism. And that completely sidetracked my whole pathway. So I was a psych major, and then I quickly became a double major, and I started majoring in human development with an emphasis in child development because of my ABA job at the time. And then once I graduated with that double major or the double degree, I became a supervisor. But in order to become a supervisor for the ABA therapy, I had to get a certification and I did that through Florida Tech University in ABA. And so that just completely sidetracked, but it was my passion, and I loved every minute of it. And I realized that I just loved helping that population specifically. And it was great. And I did it throughout a period of over 12 years. I did that specifically. And then I moved back to Tahoe, and unfortunately there wasn't that much work in that field. And so it led me to work for the college in other capacities in the college readiness area, which is still very rewarding, of course. And Bella Drops kind of turned into a hobby turned business throughout that whole process. So I've had Bella Drops since 2013. And the journey about that is a whole different story.
I'm representing.
What's that? Yes, you are. Thank you so much. Yes, those are some of my handmade pieces. I'm wearing some myself. These are from the new collection, the Moon collection that I'm making right now, and this necklace too. Would you like me to talk a little bit about the art and how I kind of
Yeah, please.
did that whole thing? Okay, so throughout my education, I always had hobbies, and just like all of us, everyone always has something that they're passionate about separate from going to school or their job. So mine was always in painting and making things. I just love to create. And while I was at UC Davis, I would frequently go to this little bead store, and I started taking classes on how to make pieces like necklaces and earrings and stuff like that. And then I got really into leather and playing around with leather and then painting on leather. And then slowly but surely, that hobby turned into having friends ask me, hey, can you make me something? Or, oh, I'm getting married. Can you make this for my bridesmaids? Or, and it just turned into a business. So in 2013, I launched Bella Drops, and I named it after my oldest daughter, who's now 14. And she really inspired me to go for this. Actually, my oldest daughter did. Um, just something about being a mom and being a little like home a little bit more at the time and needing some sort of outlet is what kind of led me to want to paint more at night. And painting at night kind of became my escape, like separate from work and separate from being a mom. It was my little escape where I could just kind of do my own thing, at
Mhm.
night while everybody was sleeping. And so then it just I created a logo, a website, and the rest is history. I mean, I carry at one point prior to the pandemic, I was carrying Bella Drops in 14 different locations, um, in Colorado, Florida, all over California. Now I've downsized a little bit because it's just I'm busier now, but it definitely gave me the understanding that you can make something as big as you want it to be. You just need to have the time and the motivation to do that.
Awesome.
So that's kind of the
Thanks.
gist of that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing. So talk to us about what a day in the life of Gladys is like at your job. What is it? What's a typical day like? And what education or training is required to do your job? I know you talked a little bit about your education, but if you want to talk about anything specific that you need, then
Yeah. So a typical day as a director for Trio, I manage Upward Bound and ETS. So it is a lot of back and forth between the high school and the middle school going on site, ensuring that students are being served, that events are happening and taking place, collaborating in meetings and that sort of thing. So a typical day will include me visiting both sites, speaking to teachers or counselors on that specific day, or attending some sort of meeting, all to encourage students to participate in college readiness activities. And so that's a typical day, 8 to 5. And then yeah, that's pretty much that.
okay. What's most challenging about your job, or what has surprised you about it?
So a challenge has been post pandemic. I think it's all related to the pandemic. A challenge has been just a lot of turnover, and just trying to navigate through the lack of enough employees. But that's just in general. I feel like everyone's struggling.
Mhm.
We have a shortage right now in teachers. I mean, just outside of my own job, I see it everywhere. We have a shortage right now of teachers, a shortage of students being served, through counseling and that sort of thing. That's always a challenge. And um, it's not just me that's dealing with the shortage of support and help um, from employees. So
Okay.
that's definitely been a challenge. And for Bella Drops, because I could talk about that as well, I feel that a challenge has always been to try to juggle both, right?
Mhm.
Like I have my main job, and that is my bread and butter. and Bella Drops kind of has to take the back burner depending on how busy I am in my main job.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
typically something that I use as a form of like a therapeutic outlet.
Hmm.
And a lot of times I'll just take a break. And so the cool thing about Bella Drops is I could be as involved as I want to be, because
Hmm.
I don't really need to answer to anybody because I'm kind of my own boss in that area, you know?
Right. Right.
So I can be as busy as I want to be. So right now I'm not that busy.
Okay.
It's kind of a good thing
Yeah. Great.
because I'm busy in my other job. But
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing about your job, or what are you excited about right now?
my favorite thing about this job is just all of the different avenues that we can take with it. I have a lot of freedom to make Trio so many things. And so, what I'm most excited about is just kind of revamping it, livening it up with like different types of things that Trio hasn't seen in the past, or that the schools have not seen in the past. Being able to forge stronger relationships with school staff, and having them just know that we're a reliable source to support students, and that we're going to be there. So I'm really excited about all the changes that are taking place, positive ones for sure,
Mhm.
and how we can kind of just level up the program. Yeah.
Thanks. If you could go back and do it all over again, would you choose the same path,
Oh,
career path?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
nothing you would change.
No, I don't think I would. When I first majored in what I wanted to major, like I said, there is a reason why I kind of started to gravitate towards something else. So I feel like my recommendation would be for students to always kind of follow your heart on what it is that you're passionate about. Always go with that, because you're always going to put forth the most effort in things that you're passionate about.
Right, right.
And
That's great advice.
you may not do the as great of a job when you're doing something that you don't love.
Yeah, exactly. Great.
Yeah.
What personal qualities or skills do you think are important in your line of work? Are there personality traits that are not a good fit?
So yes, definitely. As a director, you're dealing with having to know how to manage, but also maintain good, strong relationships, which is definitely a challenge. I am the type of person that I love to show how something is done, not just ask someone or order people around. And I feel that that is a good trait to have. When employees see you in a position of power, being able to do what it is that you want them to do, it kind of motivates them to just follow the lead, versus sometimes coming across as, you know, too harsh or abrasive.
Mhm.
Um, I do feel that any type of leadership role requires a lot of, just being outgoing, being willing to present, which is still definitely something that I struggle with myself. Presenting is not a forte of mine, but I'm a work in progress in that area. And it is definitely challenging for a lot of people. But it is something that is definitely a requirement, I would say, when you're in any leadership type of position. Practicing those presentation, um, um, just practicing it over and over and over again whenever you can, even though it's nerve-wracking. But I think that that's like the only way to overcome that type of fear, if you have
Mhm.
a fear of public speaking. um, I'm trying to think what else as far as traits. I just being able to be like a team player. And in regards to Bella Drops, I mean, anytime you're an entrepreneur or a maker of anything, it requires a lot of initiative, a lot of just, you're kind of teaching yourself along the way with everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just a lot of having that spirit to just go for something without fear of, oh my gosh, what if they don't like it? Oh my gosh, I'm too scared to do this. You just
Right.
have to just stop overthinking and just go for it. And just do
Yes.
it and jump right in, because if you can outthink yourself out of anything, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Exactly.
if you overthink too much in life, sometimes chances are you're probably going to end up not doing it. So
Yeah, that's true. All right. Is there any advice that you would give to somebody who's interested in following a similar path to yours?
yeah, I mean, I guess I would just repeat what I said earlier of, it's really just about following your passion. And if you don't know that yet, that's completely fine, because I didn't even know that yet when I graduated high school. I didn't know that when I transferred out of LTCC even. I learned what my passion was when I was a junior in college.
Mhm.
So, I mean, a lot of times students are kind of like, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to major in. Just kind of follow your gut with that.
Yeah.
But know that eventually you're going to run into something that you're going to be like, this is what I meant to do.
Yes,
And
exactly.
until you get there, I would just encourage people to just, follow your gut. And once you find it, really, really do that. Even if you think, oh, this may not make that much money, or, oh, there's always a way to figure out how to do what you love and get paid for it.
Yep. Okay. Great. Thanks. What's something that you wish you would have known when you started college or down your career path?
All the free money that was available.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I got some, but I feel that that was definitely not something that I knew that much about.
Mhm.
Right now, there's so many opportunities available, specifically at LTCC, which is great for students. And
Yeah.
I think that that is huge, having that financial support and the awareness, right? So
Mhm.
going to counselors more, because I don't think I did as much as I should have. So
Mhm.
that would be something that I would recommend also, is just talk to your counselor, find out about all of the financial assistance that is available, because you will thank your future self.
Yes.
And yeah, that's my advice.
Awesome. Thank you. All great advice. Thanks so much for sharing. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, thank you for having me, and I wish you all the best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thanks.
You too.